Right, let's get started with these. Okay, these ones are when you're trying to find a missing angle. Okay, now I suggest that you have a look at the finding missing lengths one first before you attempt this one. Okay, once you've got the grasp of the missing lengths, then the angle ones are a bit easier. Okay, so first of all, label everything up. So we've got hypotenuse, we've got edge, two angles, remember? All right, and here we've got opposite. Okay, so now we've got that, we can say that we do not need my edge because there's no length on this line here, so we don't need him. Okay, so we've got hype. Okay, so we have a look at those triangles again. So we've got sa is the one that we're going to use because we've got our opposite and hype. The ka we can't use because we've got an adjacent, and similarly with the toa we can't use because again we've got the adjacent, so we have to use this sa. Now, key thing is your angle is always attached to, okay, always attached to the sin, the cos, or the tan. All right, so it's always attached to sin, cos, tan. So because we're after our angle, we're going to start off here. Okay, it's always sin, cos, or tan. That's what we always start off with. So I'm just going to write sin, and next to my sin, we're going to write x because that's where my angle would go. All right, now that equals, using this triangle, my opposite over my hypotenuse. Right, so now we can start filling the gaps that we know. So we still don't know anything here, but we know what my opposite is, which is 5. We know what the hype is, which is 7. Now, this one, we need to shift our sin over to the other side. So we're left with x on its own. Now, when we shift it onto the other side, you look for the button, the top left corner of your calculator, which is shift. Okay, you press that button just once, and then you press whichever button you're after next, which is sin. Okay, now on your calculator when you do it, you should have this appear, which is sin minus 1, and it opens up a bracket. Now inside that bracket is 5 over 7. Close that bracket. Okay, and then once you've done sin minus 1, which is already on your calculator, do 5 divided by 7, close your bracket, hit equals. You should get an answer of 45.5846914. Went a bit off. Okay, now to the nearest degree, that is 46 degrees. Okay, so again, if you're not too sure, nearest degree is obviously this one here that we're looking at, box around it. Next one over is an 8, so it kicks on to that there. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here. So there's my nearest whole degree there. All right, any questions about that, please give me a shout. Now, your next question that you've got here, okay, part 2. Get that triangle down, try doing it for yourself and see how far you can get to. Okay, so pause the video. Right, now hopefully you've had a good go at it. So label everything that you know. So here, this is my adjacent, this is my hypotenuse, and this here is my opposite. Now, don't know anything to do with my hypotenuse, okay, so get rid of it. My pen's really laggy today, so I'm just going to get rid of all that there, okay. That better? Sweet. Right, so we've got opposite, adjacent. So now we're thinking about those triangles again, and we're going to look at toa. All right, because the other ones have got something to do with my hypotenuse, and I haven't obviously got it, so I can't use it. So now we've got that. We start off with tan. Now remember, it's always the first letter that we start off with when we're trying to find a missing angle. So either sin, cos, or tan. In this case, it's tan. X, because that's what my value is for my angle here, equals my opposite, again because they're on top of one another, opposite over adjacent. Okay, so we've now got to fill in the missing gaps. We've got tan x, we don't know. My opposite we do know, which is 3. My adjacent, which is 7. Okay, now we're nearly there. We need to shift this over to the other side. So we've got x equals, remember to hit shift on your calculator, top left, and then hit the tan button, which gives you tan minus 1, opens up a bracket, and this pops in there, 3 over 7, close your bracket, hit equals, and you should get me an answer of 23.19, I think it's 859051, okay, or something along those lines. My handwriting's a bit dodgy on the other side here. So here, to the nearest whole degree, there's my nearest whole degree, next door neighbour is a 1, so it's not a high fiver, so we're just left with 23 degrees. Don't ask me why I wrote it that way. Okay, right, last example, then I'm going to give you 2 questions just like before to do. So label everything up. First one, hypotenuse. Second one, adjacent. Third one, opposite. Now, which one do we get rid of? Hypotenuse? Nope, because we've got a length. Adjacent, no, because we've got a length, but here, nothing there, so we get rid of it. So we're left with hypernudge. So we're thinking of our triangles, our little tools. So we're left with K. Okay, remember, start off with your first letter. So we've got cos x equals your adjacent over your hypotenuse. All right, and then from that part here, you've got cos x. Again, oh, my pen's gone wrong. There we go. Cos x equals adjacent, which is 5 over 9. Okay, now if you do get a syntax error on the calculator, okay, it just basically means that you've got these two numbers the wrong way around. Okay, so if you're in your exam panicking, just flip them and make sure your answer makes sense. I mean, I know that my answer has got to be an acute angle. I also know it's got to be a decent sized angle as well. Okay, it can't be anything like 0.0 as I've seen some people put. All right, cos needs to be shifted across, so we've got x equal shift and then cos, which gives you cos minus 1. And then we've got 5 divided by 9. Okay, now if you whack that into your calculator, you should get an answer of 56.2510114, which nearest whole number kicks on. No, it doesn't, which leaves us with 56 degrees. Okay, right, here's 2 questions for you to have a crack at. See how you cope with those 2 questions. Pause the video and I'll go through them with you in a second. Right, hopefully that you haven't tear your hair out or throw your paper across the classroom or classroom. Don't know if you've got a classroom at your home. But yeah, hopefully you haven't gone absolute mental with it. So first one, over here you've got your hypotenuse. Your 2 together is your adjacent, and then opposite your angle is your opposite. Okay, we don't need our hype. So think so, cos, so, ka, and tower. Which one do you not need? You do not need the so. And we do not need a ka, so we're left with a tower. It's the only one which hasn't got the hype in. Okay, so get rid of him. Start off with the first letter, which is tan x, because that's what we're after, equals opposite over my adjacent, which means it's opposite, which is 7.4 over 8.1, and that was my tan x. Okay, running out of room, so we can just click down here a bit. There we go. Okay, so we've got x equals tan minus 1. Remember to shift it and hit shift top left and then your tan button, which gives you that on your calculator, and then get this here, bung it in there, 7.4 over 8.1. Alright, and you should get an answer of, I think it was 42 degrees. Now I've already rounded it there, so if you've got something else, don't freak out. Okay, now just scrolling back up a little bit. If I can, I don't think I can. It's thinking about it. Okay. Right, anyway. It's all gone mad. Right, so if I just scooch this down, say, stupid computer. Didn't have a problem on the other one. Oh well. Right, so here we've got this triangle here, okay? So first part of it is my hype. Next part, we've got our 2 angles, so that's my adjacent. And over here is my opposite. Now again, don't need my edge because there's nothing here. So I've got opposite and hype, which means that I have to use my so. Okay, because that's the only one with opposite and hype in. I've got rid of my adjacent. No adjacent here, so that's the one that I use. Alright, now I've got that, we start off with the letter, which is sin x. Okay, oop, didn't need that, did I? Okay, so we've got sin x equals, just going to put my brackets in, my opposite, which is there, over my hypotenuse. Okay, and again, fill in those gaps. So you've got opposite, which is 7.5 over my hypotenuse, which is 9.4. And now we've got that, we've got sin x, okay, equals that, but I don't want sin, so we get rid of that, chuck it onto the other side by shifting it, and we've got sin minus 1, 7.5 over 9.4, okay, there should be a point there, okay, and that to me is, I think it was 52.927, something, so here it's 53 degrees to the nearest degree. So close to getting everything right. Go away, you, don't need you. Okay, now do not forget your degrees as well, so 53 degrees. Alright, now if you've got any problems, then give me a shout. Alright, and thank you very much for spending that little bit of time. Please make sure that you go over your maths watch. Okay, you've got 2 assessments on your maths watch, one for your length and the other one for your angle, and if you're getting stuck on either of them, give me a shout on Show My Homework. Nice one, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.